It looks like she was in a horse stable with the man she loves, but no one should know about it. When everything is very Kardashian-ish, very clean, sleek, and shines like a mirror. Hello guys, so long hair for the body types. If you're new to my channel, I have a huge Kibbe body types playlist. I'm gonna leave the link down below. Before I go into the specifics, little disclaimer. Of course, I understand that all the photos that I'm gonna show you of these celebrities that are wearing long hair, I understand that in many cases is extensions. Not many people have this amazing, thick, healthy hair. Many people have just thin hair, or their hair just simply doesn't grow well. They are public figures, so for red carpet, for stage, they have to do something. Sometimes they do just a little bit on the bottom there to create that volume. So you would never tell that they have extensions, but still that is. So I also understand that, and don't be discouraged if you don't wanna do extensions. There's loads of different things how you can make yourself look wow. So your signature style is not just this hair or just this dress. It's a bunch of things that work all together and work in different combinations. Just recently I did video Pixie for the body types and Bob for the body types. I'm gonna leave the link down below. Another little disclaimer, it's mostly like my opinion. I think almost everyone can look amazing with long hair, which is thick and very good quality, which grows very well and looks healthy and shiny. And also I think nobody can look good enough with hair which is extremely thin, with very thin ends, and looks very dry and sparse and unhealthy. My hair doesn't grow below that part, and if it does, then here is just so thin. So I go back to my bob all the time, even if I want to grow that. It's a game. Even if your hair is very thin and sparse, I think you can do it. There's loads of advices. It just takes a lot of effort, a lot of attention. You basically are saving each hair in your head. You're not doing this, you're not doing this. You're actually preventing that from breaking. That is a lot of work, but sometimes it's worth it. So I want to encourage you, if you can grow your hair longer, go for it. Even if your hair is thin, always trim your ends even a little bit. It will look thicker just in general. Those are just basic advices, but this video is not about this. It's just, I think when your hair is healthy and full, it's hard to find a body type who doesn't look good with it, but there are some specifics with outfits then, which is important. Let's go straight to the body types. Let's talk about dramatics. Yes, of course, dramatics look amazing with long hair. Because dramatics look elongated, they have long vertical line, and long hair also has long vertical line. But again, shiny, sleek hair looks amazing. With blunt cut, it looks better than with thin ends. It's just gonna support their bone structure more. It should be well combed. It should be sharp looking, preferably not extremely layered, especially extremely layered for thin hair with wispy ends. It's a no-no. Your hair can be wavy, straight, or curly. It doesn't matter. It all will look great. With elfish faces, with faces who have this elfish vibe, you might look slightly medieval with this kind of hair, a little bit like a fairy tale, especially if you have this middle parting. You can also make a bun on the back, make it sleek. Not every dramatic likes that. For dramatics, it normally depends on where their apex is. If it's too low, then they feel like they're slightly bold, but it's quite rare actually. Majority of dramatics that I know, they like to make their hair sleek. Some of them just make it a little bit more volume, but just in general, they like to go for that because sleekness is geometry. What would be a no? For any body type, I'm gonna mention same thing. Extremely thin, dull, wispy hair. It just doesn't look good in general. Also, if it's too untidy looking. So for dramatics, it is especially noticeable when it's untidy and too tousled looking. Soft dramatic, yes. Big yes, especially if wavy or curly. Again, it should be well combed, well styled. It should not be extremely tousled and crazy, preferably. Inward curls look better on you. If it's straight hair, amazing. Sofia Vergara, for example, she loves that hairstyle. She always is wearing it for her whole life. She has this sleek hair. I don't think it's thick even. I think her hair is quite thin. Maybe it's naturally curly and she's just straightening them like that. It definitely doesn't look like super much of a hair, but still it looks quite glamorous. You can go for central parting or slightly side parting. Again, I would trim the dead ends. Thickness on the bottom especially looks good on you because you have thicker bones and quite prominent body structure, so for you it's good. If soft dramatic has tousled long hair, it looks like she doesn't know about it yet. It looks like she was in a horse stable with the men she loves, but no one should know about it. If your hair is very curly, I think it's also great. You just comb it a little bit, make it not as frizzy and huge looking, and you're good. Now, romantic, theatrical, romantic. I think it always looks amazing for both of them. Again, first question, how healthy it looks. If it grows fine, if it's healthy looking, long hair is for you. It doesn't mean that bob would not be better for you. It sometimes can even be better for you, but just in general, long hair will look good on you. Don't go for huge volume. Regular volume is good for you. Any kind of a curl or wave is your thing because you're around it, so any curls would actually repeat your body structure. If your hair is extremely straight, it's also nice. It's also nice if you're going for side swept bangs or a little bit of layering by the face. It normally lightens the situation and it's not making those lines too clean and severe or too solid looking on you. However, it's quite classy today. I would say it's quite modern. It's very pleasing to the eye when everything is very Kardashian-ish, very clean, sleek, and shines like a mirror. It doesn't matter if you have curly, straight, or afro hair, all is good. For you, it's still better to go for more tidy look rather than too tousled hair. Different kinds of updos looks amazing on you. Some theatrical romantics like to go for sleeker hairstyles. Some romantics might feel like they're too rounded for that. They feel bold even sometimes when they're going for too sleek hairstyles. So sometimes they like to add a little bit of volume, a little bit of wave or curl on top there every time they're doing some kind of updo or backdo. And theatrical romantics, yeah, I noticed that they like to go very, very sleek, central parting or slightly side parting. Normally that's because their facial bones are quite delicate. What doesn't look good on romantic and theatrical romantics is something untidy with grown roots, especially with also uneven hair color, which is not very clear, with these grown roots and especially with untidy hair texture that creates a very untidy look for them. They normally just don't look good with that. Even if their hair was same solid color, then that would look good. Much more tidy. If they go for long hair with short fringe, it sometimes can be too childish for them or too geometric. So probably fringe should better be more wispy and elongated, or sometimes curtain bangs or side swept bangs. All that would look nice on them. Also, layering will soften their hair, but if your hair is very thin and straight, then layering can make it look much worse. So probably don't layer, especially layer severely if you have long and thin straight hair. Better just trim your ends. Your ends should be thicker. You will look like you have more hair and more healthy hair. Now let's go to classics. Good quality, of course. Tidy, well combed, would look amazing. Trim your ends, blunt cut, much better for you than wispy ends and untidy hair, tousled hair. That's your main rule. Now you can do different kinds of updos, backdos, tidy bun on the back, tidy bun on top, not very tousled. Sleek hair would look nice. Side parting or central parting should look nice. Some soft classics might want to add some volume there. They feel that their softness is making them look rounder and slightly meaty or a bit bold. So they sometimes want to slightly back comb it just to create a little bit more hair on top there. But normally that all looks very sensual and nice. For soft classics, you can do layers at the front a little bit, again, to soften that look, not to make it too severe. If you have very thin and straight hair, don't over layer them. You will end up with having this wispy stuff in the ends. We don't want that. We want thick hair for every body type. I will keep saying this over and over again, but this is the rule number one. If you just don't know what to do at all, just make sure it's healthy and good ends and you're good. Of course, for soft classics, color matters very much. I'll make a new video about colors, hair colors, plus haircuts for the body types and how they combine together, because I think it's very important as well. Not every haircut fits a certain hair color. That's another science behind that. So yeah, as a soft classic, if you want to have bangs, you can have them sometimes with long hair. It can look quite cute. Again, not something too severe and too geometric, too stiff on you. You are so much more gentle than that. So probably for you, wispier bangs and longer bangs would look better. Curtain bangs also, but I would say, it's my personal opinion, soft classics are better without any bangs, because that clean look, it's just so soft on them, it's just so royal on them, so chic and so elegant. But that's my personal viewpoint. So dramatic classics, they look amazing with long hair. They don't look as good with short hair. Then with long hair or long bobbish, something like that, they look amazing. Straight thin hair, again, healthy, looks amazing. If it's sleek, great. It should look tidy, not very tousled. If you're gonna go for fringe, also it's not as chic on them. I noticed that without fringe they look a bit more elegant. Middle parting normally looks good, side parting looks great, slightly asymmetrical, slightly heavier on one side, gives that mystery to you. Side sweat bangs normally can look amazing on you. Don't over layer if you have thin and straight hair. We need thickness. If you have curly hair or if you have wavy hair, great. Just blunt cut, don't do it too tousled. Just comb it a little bit, make curl by curl, it's gonna look amazing. Now, the biggest don'ts for classics: frizzy hairs, untidiness, wispy ends, unhealthy hair, too matte hair, too layered hairstyles, especially combined with different kinds of dirty highlighted hair, with those colors like slightly yellowish, slightly brassy, slightly chestnut, and all that thing. Big no for classics, especially for dramatic classics. And especially if you have fringe. For naturals, soft naturals and flamboyant naturals, of course, long hair looks stunning. Again, if it's thick, it's better. Normally naturals have quite thick hair, and if they have thin hair and straight hair, it's normally a lot of hair. So if they do that blunt cut off these dead ends, their hair already looks quite thick. So here we just need to take care of color. Some frizz, some matte texture on their hair, or some untidiness or touslenness looks charming on naturals. They don't have to have curl by curl or everything very sleek. On contrary, when it's too sleek, it sometimes exaggerates their broadness in bones and their squarishness. Sometimes they feel more angular than they actually are, so they don't like it. They always feel like they need to add a little bit of back comb, a little bit of air to their updo or back do. They like doing beachy waves, they like waves in general, they like curls. Of course, all that looks amazing. If your hair is curly, you can do layered haircut. I know not everybody has that much hair like Goldie Hawn, but this is such an amazing haircut and it looks so modern and so fresh today. So if you can do that, you should try. Curtain bangs, lion's mane, loads of layers. That's gonna look so beautiful. Doesn't matter if your hair is wavy, curly, or even straight. That's gonna look fantastic on you. If your hair is very thin and very straight, you might consider cutting it shorter or at least cutting dead ends. Certain hair color would help, and again, this is the subject for one of my next videos, how we combine haircuts and hair colors so it would look beautiful, because texture of hair is very important for hair color. So in this case, you can always go slightly shorter, make a lob, then your hair will be just wider here in this area, and this is what we need. We need movement, we need thickness, and in this case, bluntness too. If we talk about bobs and blunt cut, that is a different thing because we are exposing our neck. So this can give us a little bit of angularity and broadness in this area that we didn't even have before. But with long hair is a different situation. It goes beyond that line, so it closes this part, so it's already blurring all the outline of our neck and our shoulders. So in this case, blunt cut is just making our hair healthier looking and thicker at the bottom. So it is always looking much better than wispier ends. Another thing that can help if you have lack of volume, very thin hair, is side parting. Side parting is always giving you more volume. So just in general, slightly tousled hair looks amazing, but not like that, of course. If you have bangs, short bangs and too geometric is not for you probably. It will make you look slightly squarish. Some naturals even say that they feel stupid with this short bangs, so they try to grow that longer, and you always can shear it slightly so it would not be that geometric. It will soften your look if you have accidentally made these bangs for you. Just shear it and then style it a little bit tousled, or you can make it a slightly rounder, then it will create a little bit more volume by your face, so it will be good. Also, what you can do, grow these bangs and make it just longer up to your brows. It's already a bit better because it's a bit softer. If you have afro long hair or curly hair, then curly bangs, also one of the options, would look amazing. You don't have to make it very thick. You can, but you don't have to. You can just make 1, 2, or 3 curls up to here. That will be stunning, and then the rest of your hair is one length. It will be very cool, very effortless for you and very stylish. Soft naturals, when they go for extremely sleek hairstyles, some of them like it very much, like J-Lo, for example. Of course, if we compare that to the rest of her body does look slightly more angular than if she had that loose long hair, or if she had that updo but with a bit more volume there. But some soft naturals, they feel too meaty with that. They feel that their face is too big, too puffy even sometimes, or just too muscular. So they love to do updo with a bit fluff here, not as sleek. So the biggest no's for naturals would be too short, stiff, and geometric bangs with long hair. Probably is not that style that they normally want to go for. Also something extremely thin with wispy ends, very layered, transparent. Also something too stiff, huge volume, or very stiff curls after loads of hairspray. It's just not for them and looks slightly dowdy even. They need movement and air in their hair. Gamines. This is where we have problems sometimes. Gamines are short and slightly angular. So for them, every time they go for that traditional long hair, normally it's dragging them down. There are certain things how you can still incorporate that in your style. First of all, if you have thick hair, again, like Goldie Hawn or something, like lion's mane, then you can do that layered hairstyle. It will be childish enough. Normally it looks like it has a lot of air and movement in that. In my viewpoint, that lion's mane, if you have a lot of hair, for example, doesn't matter if your hair is curly, it's curly even better, or straight. I think that creates so much lightness and fluff in your hair, especially if you have some bangs here. So that looks charming, and I think that fits to everyone, especially today. I'm not talking about 80s hairstyles, because in the 80s the clothes that they were wearing also was different, and with that clothes that they were wearing, of course I understand why longer hair can drag that down. In today's reality we have a little bit different style direction, so I think today we can have this long hair. It will be very, very chic looking. Let's go separate. Gamine, then soft gamine, then flamboyant gamine. They all have their specifics. I'm still mentioning pure types. Kibbe doesn't use these pure types anymore. I'm still gonna mention gamine because I know there are some women here on my channel who think they are pure gamines and who actually follow these recommendations. So for gamines, long hair definitely can drag them down in majority cases. I think pure gamine is the only type that long hair can drag them down in majority cases. So they might want to go slightly shorter. You might cut your hair up to here or do long bob. If you're getting older, probably I would still cut them a little bit shorter. It would be more elegant for you. If gamine girl is very young, I think long hair will make her look like Disney princess, again like Rapunzel or something, slightly childish, but still they look great with updos, they look great with slight layers. And how you can save the situation is wispy bangs. It can be slightly short, it can be slightly longer. So that can save the situation for you because it lightens a little bit the silhouette. But still, I would go shorter. I would go at least long bob. Also, if you're wearing that long hair and you still want to keep wearing them, in this case the color of your hair is very important. It probably should be more overall color rather than highlights. Overall color will save the situation because it will not blur your contrast that you have in your bone structure, because you're quite geometric yourself as a body. So all that highlights, especially softened hair colors, it just blurs and blends you. It's making you look tired. So for you it's better, the hair color is overall, and of course in this case it's especially important to wear everything slightly on the shorter side, have color blocks, have narrower shapes and more geometric shapes. Fitted shoulders, for example, narrow pants, things like that. Or if you have bigger pants, then shorter top that is fitted. It's very important for you to actually play it as a contrast, just not to let this hair drag you down too much. But you can always consider going slightly shorter. You will see how easier your style game is. Don't be scared to cut them a little bit more. It can be a little bit. You don't have to go super short if you don't want to. You can go shorter gradually and just see where you feel your best. Now let's go to soft gamines. Soft gamines and long hair, again, that is an effect that I see is happening. They look like Disney princesses, like dolls. The older soft gamine is becoming, I think, the more she wants to cut her hair. This is when it starts dragging her down very much and makes her look a little bit dowdy because she wants to look slightly more elegant. So the older you get, the more elegant you become. So for more elegant look, you probably want to go shorter. If you don't want to go to a bob, then you can probably go for long bob and then keep those ends blunt, thicker. It's very important for you. For soft gamines, it's important to have a little bit more hair. It can be styled in a tousled manner. It actually better for them rather than curl to curl, especially if it's very stiff. It looks quite dowdy on them too. So they need freshness. They need those free curls or free waves. When I say tousled, I don't mean nest on your head. I mean just not very stiff, not curl by curl. You can have very irregular curls away from each other. It's gonna look fresher on you and give you more life and a bit more rock and roll. So this is what you need. Even if you have long hair, if you have a lot of hair, then you can go for that. If you have hair extensions, also you can go for that. Then you can have some side swept bangs or slight layers by the face. Also, you can have layers all over your head, but still, if you have very straight and thin hair all over your head, probably is not a good idea to overlayer it because you will have these transparent ends. You still need a bit more hair because sometimes your face can be a little bit puffy or meaty, and sometimes some soft gamines feel like they look too puffy and they feel like they need more hair. And of course, here it's very important for you, if you follow all the recommendations for soft gamines, go for color blocks, go for shorter shapes, go for everything trim, because hair is such a detail that actually can pull you away from your lines a little bit. So you need to balance it with something extremely fitted here at the shoulders. Maybe higher neckline would also help a lot in this case for you. When everything is lower, longer hair, lower here, especially if it's long dress, it's already dragging you down. You will try and look like your mom. Just keep that in mind. Keep everything else quite trim and slightly higher on your body. Then this hair can work. Make different updos. Again, it depends on many things. What is your age? What is your profession? Where you go? What is the quality of your hair? What is the color of your hair? Things like this. But just in general, yeah, I think those are the basic rules. If we talk about flamboyant gamine, also the situation when it's dragging them down very much, especially if they want to go for that, how do I call this style? I don't know, modern glam Kardashian-ish style, Kylie Jenner-ish. So if they want to go for that modern glam with that straight long hair, with that glamorous outfits, this is when it can drag them down very much. This is when they don't like how they look. So in this case, if you still want to go for long hair, like Zooey Deschanel, she never cuts her hair short. She sometimes goes for bob, but mostly her hair is long. So she balances it with shorter bangs, for example. It gives that playfulness to her face, that youthfulness always, that contrasted color of her hair. She has a lot of hair, so she's layering them, so it doesn't look too sleek and curl by curl, but it mostly looks slightly free. Also outfits that she goes for. It's very important for flamboyant gamines, especially go for structured, boxy, geometric things, quite narrow preferably, or if it's wider, then it should be slightly shorter and boxier and play with a contrast. And also higher necklines, higher collars can help balance that long hair that is dragging them down. But most of the time, I noticed that it is dragging their features down. Audrey Hepburn, you rarely could see her with long hair. Even when she had long hair, she would try to open their face. It's very important for them to open their face. It doesn't mean that they can't have some kind of a side swept bangs or some fringe or some hair by their face. Some of them would like to close it a little bit, but just in general to lift them up, they like to do those buns, updos, and things like that. Sometimes they like to do this Brigitte Bardot-ish kind of an updo with curtain bangs. All that can look stunning, especially if you have a lot of hair. If you have very thin hair, Brigitte Bardot-ish bangs, it's quite hard to maintain. You will have to use many stylish products and quite some time to make your hair look quite voluminous. Penelope Cruz also, she has a lot of hair. She's wearing that layered haircut with that rich dark color. Quite often she has that curtain bang, so all that looks very harmonious with her nature, I think, because this kind of is lion mane hair, especially when she doesn't go for that everything flowing and too long with long neckline dresses. When she goes a little bit more trim here, that normally balances it. You see, Gamine's era began approximately in the 60s, probably in the end of the 50s, yeah? Jean Seberg, Mia Farrow, they all cut their hair at that time. And those outfits, which were short and quite geometric, were very popular at that time. So all kind of spoke all together, and that long hair actually we could see finally what long hair does to this or that body. So if you have flamboyant gamine, just watch for what you're wearing. If you're wearing this sleek and glamorous hairstyle, if you're going for everything hanging on you, long and not structured with lowered neckline, this is when it just feels like outfit from someone else, I would say. But every time she goes for something a little bit more flamboyant gamine-ish here, more structured, then that long hair looks harmonious with that outfit. So it's very important what you're wearing in this case. Alright, that's it. I hope that was helpful. Please let me know in the comments which kind of videos you want to see next from me. Also, very soon we're going to talk about haircut and hair color and how they combine. And also, of course, we're going to talk about hair colors for the body types. It's going to be a new updated video based on modern hair color trends. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.